Welcome to Bold Talk. I'm Angela Belcamino. My guest today is one of the boldest and ballsiest people I know, Mr. Alex Stein. What's up, Alex?
What do we not get? I'm a bold lib, or do we not get any song, anything? I mean, I'm one of the most wild people you know. I mean, that's a good intro. I know you're getting this is what your third, fifth episode, and I'm not here like I'm some expert, but where's the bold lib, the song that you're so famous for?
You will see when the episode airs, there is a little intro, a little Bold Talk going on. So, yeah.
Well, I don't get to hear the bold talk. Well, now we're breaking the fourth wall. You're all about, I don't want to break the fourth wall, and then I break it immediately. But I'm just, my heart is broken because I need that. I need that little bumper, that little bold talk. I love that. So I'm all about that.
Well, this is about you. So, I don't know how you feel. I've been on your show a few times. How does it feel that I'm in the driver's seat this time?
I mean, it's not really that nerve-wracking. I mean, I'm a pimp on a blimp. I mean, when I deal with ladies like you all the time. I mean, it's kind of nice. I'm in my natural habitat, really. Because people don't realize that too, It's kind of like how they say it's dangerous to go on these college campuses after Charlie, which that is true. But generally, college campuses are safer than the outside world. And, women are, can be kind of hard to deal with. Sometimes, but actually, women are kind of easier to deal with than men in certain circumstances. So I like it. I enjoy going on other ladies' podcasts. So I appreciate you having me.
Well, I appreciate you. You've always been great to me. I'm happy to have you. Obviously, I brought you on to talk about the release of Taylor Swift's new album, Life of a Showgirl.
Is Taylor Swift being a slut now? Is she in her slut era?
I don't know. What have you heard? Have you heard the new album?
I don't know. Travis Kelce's, he's used to doing a lot of wild stuff and a lot of, he's been on a lot of reality TV shows. And I know that he likes to get freaky deaky. He did a reality show and he was, I think, engaged to an African-American woman that supposedly likes to get it on. And, not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, that's not, I'm not trying to do all that, maybe a little bit, but not all that. And, I would imagine that Taylor Swift might be falling into that kind of jock machismo stuff, and she's been with all the rockers. Now she's going through a Kim Kardashian athlete phase. Remember when Kim Kardashian went through the Chris Humphries, and then now they're still all with athletes. I mean, Khloe, she banged the whole entire Los Angeles Lakers and the Clippers for that matter. And so she's kind of in her Taylor Swift and her sports art. So yeah. So she's probably doing it. They're probably getting freaky deaky and showgirls. She's all about it. So there's something about athletes and sex that have always kind of mixed. That's why they always have those like Sports Illustrated nude edition. It's weird. I don't know why there is such a big crossover with athletics and sex. But you know how like the Olympic Village every year, they like run out of condoms because they're all banging so much.
I have heard that. Did I hear that from you? I don't know where I heard that before. But
that's a common thing. You've heard that they say that on literally every talk show, every tweet. Oh, in the Olympic Village, they're breaking the IKEA beds because they're banging so much. And you hear that a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So for people who might not know you, I don't know who that could be, but what would you tell them about yourself to describe yourself? Who you are, what you do?
I'm not trying to say this to be like, of course I say this on the Bold Lips podcast. I think I'm very misunderstood, that's one thing. And maybe that's on purpose too. Sometimes I'm purposely trying to be, misleading, and not that I'm necessarily lying, but sometimes I don't want people to know my political viewpoints when I'm like, especially like embedding in somewhere like enemy territory. But now I kind of can't do that anymore. Like what I got well known for is going to city council meetings, and instead of like doing the classic yelling and complaining, which I did do, I tried that. I started like LARPing as kind of like libtarded, weird libs, like one of my first ones. I said how much I loved abortion after the heartbeat bill. And I was like so egregious that it got shared by people because they're like, is this guy for real? And now a lot of people are doing this. It's kind of like this culture jamming where you kind of just mock the thing that you're trying to make fun of by impersonating it. And it's a really effective strategy, to be honest.
Where did you first get this idea? Like how long ago? And
well, I started going to the city council meetings basically seriously during the pandemic. Like I said a little sarcastic stuff, but I was kind of like, I was pissed off about them shutting everything down. So it was just
Mhm.
a different vibe. And I like not really many people paid attention or listened. And I was like, oh, I need to do something else. So I kind of tried that strategy where I kind of just LARPed as something that I wasn't and just being sarcastic, and that worked. And there's other people that had done that. There's other people that had gone and done stuff at city council meetings, but it was a certain time, kind of a new wave of content because of the pandemic where everybody was shut down. And yeah, I just got on it, and that's that. But then my biological stepfather, Tucker Carlson, noticed me from I did the city council speech where I tried to recruit all of the city council members and mayor to join the Ukrainian Foreign Legion and fight in the Ukraine war. And then he invited me on his podcast, and then that's it. And then I became, I was already a pimp on a blimp, but I really became a bigger pimp on a bigger blimp.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people have been inspired by you at this point. Did you have any inspirations in your comedy or in, you know,
Yeah,
going
my favorite comedian is Carlos Mencia, so he's inspired me a lot. But other than him, Andy Kaufman, I like Andy Kaufman a lot. Howard Stern, even though his politics stink, that's why I can stomach you, even though I don't listen to Howard anymore, because because I listen to a lib, even though he really kind of pretended to be more libertarian for a long time. He's only in the last few years gotten so, libtarded, as I would say. You probably wouldn't use that verbiage.
I wouldn't, but, I've heard it before. It's not my first time hearing it. So I don't know what you went to school to college for, but, how did you initially get into comedy? Did I see something about you were on reality TV for a bit? You did some, like, food challenges?
You're
Yeah.
reading my Wikipedia. This is a horse ivermectin. This is actually horse medicine. It's not prescribed. This is actually, and I was going to be a vet. That's why I love cats so much. I just take a
How many
little.
cats do you have?
I can't say that because the government wants to know, and because of the Patriot Act, I don't want to give them access to that information. But I have enough, and I rescue a lot of animals at the same time. So, I have transient animals at the same time. So at any point, the animals are a lot like the stock market in my house. It's fluctuating. Um,
Well, see, look at this.
mm,
I wore my cat shirt for you.
I love that.
That
I love
wasn't even
feeling
really
close.
that wasn't even planned. That was
Do you even
subconscious.
have a cat? No, you have a cat, right?
I don't currently have a cat. I
You
have
gotta go get a kitten or go get a
Yeah.
senior cat. You would be so happy if you got a senior cat.
I have adopted, cats in the past, but I just, moved, and so, yeah, so it's about time for some pets.
You need to do it. Don't lie to me, because I will come to Orlando and I will just find a cat and throw it in your apartment, and I will not tell your landlord or anybody. And one day you'll get a fine for not telling them about it. But that's how it goes.
And I believe that you would do that. I'm not surprised by that.
No, I did that. I did that years ago, and I had a condo. A cat jumped off the balcony on the roof, and I just immediately started freaking out. Called the cops, on the front desk, like, my cat's on the roof. I don't know what to do, and the cat ended up jumping down, but it was on the roof over this 4-story complex. I was really scared,
Mhm.
and they're like, "You never told us you had a cat. It's like $750." Yeah, so that did happen. That was years ago. That was a long time ago.
So, have you always been funny? Like, what was your personality
Oh
when
yeah, you were
you
talking about
were
my yeah. So I went to LSU and I graduated in 2010, and I didn't really have any prospects necessarily. I got a general studies degree, which is the easiest degree to get at LSU, which still was good. Minored in sociology, business, and communications. I learned how to edit and do some basic stuff with sociology and public speaking and communications, and so it was all actually useful. But I packed up my Tahoe and I graduated in May, and by October I was in Los Angeles, California, living in like a really bad studio apartment, like such a small studio apartment in Hollywood, in like a terrible neighborhood, dangerous. And I didn't have any gigs, but a guy that I knew from high school went to USC. He's like, you can go to this place called Central Casting, and you can be an extra. And because I was young, so as soon as I went there, like within the first week, I got booked on the movie Spider-Man. And you told me that you've done extra work, and because I'm saying because I played 18 and looked younger, I worked like crazy. So I did that for like 2 years straight. Really, I didn't even need to stop. I could have kept doing that. I just wanted to do other stuff, but Yeah. I
That's
just like,
insane that we had such a similar story, except that yours was LA and mine was New York City. But I
uh,
also, yeah, that's exactly what I.
I'd imagine it's even better doing extra work in New York City because like that's the one bad thing about LA. Actually, it was fun. Sometimes I got to work on shows that were like studio shows that were regular, and I got booked as like a regular extra where I was like inside of a live studio audience show, and that was like at that was at Warner Brothers. So sometimes you have like a cool gig like that, but a lot of times at LA, you'd be driving from like Santa Monica to this to that all over like an hour away, basically all the way down to San Diego, literally, like depending on whatever was being shot, whether it's a commercial or a movie. New York, I imagine it's all a lot more condensed, right?
It is quite a world doing the TV and film set stuff. I mean, it's like, you can travel by subways, so you don't have to have a car in New York City, but it's still like the call times. I mean, you'd be up 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, like in the
Oh, I
city.
didn't even think about that. I bet they have a bunch of weird times because there's like rent places. I didn't even think about that. Might be different than like because there's not a lot of movie sets and they have to like rent bars when they're closed and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That is different. Yeah.
Early call times, long days, harsh conditions too, and I worked as a stand-in for a lot, for like 10 years, and we would have to work in the winter, in the freezing cold outside. There would be overnights in the
There
freezing.
was that would suck, and that sucks when it's a hot day and you have to be in it taking it's
Yeah.
taking place in the wintertime. You have to wear a jacket. People don't realize you have to go walk a bunch across the street 1,000 times. Wait, so tell me this: what's the coolest show you were a stand-in on,
Well,
or
one of my
movie, or like what
favorites.
was the coolest project?
So I stood in for Juno Temple, who's in Ted Lasso now. Um,
Why don't
yeah,
I know Juno
she was
Temple?
Keely
Huh.
in Ted Lasso. She's
I don't.
lovely. She's so lovely. So I initially stood in for her on an HBO show called Vinyl, which was a Mick Jagger, Martin Scorsese project, which was incredible. So
Oh,
that was
I've seen this girl. She is a good actress. Yeah, she's a good actress.
so sweet. So I stood in for her on several things, and she was my favorite.
Well, she's been in a bunch of movies
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I mean, she's been around forever, but, like, she's really thankfully, I'm happy for her blowing up and having, like, a lot of success, now, so she's been at it a long time. But, yeah, that was a cool one. I worked on Inventing Anna, that was also a really cool experience. I stood in for Anna Klumsky, but, yeah,
Hmm.
so
Let
many
me
for
look up
10
that
years.
is.
What was your favorite experience?
Mine ever, The Office with because just because that was such a big show, and it was big at the time because I was an Office fan. You can like see me in Michael Scott's last episode, and yeah, that was like within the first like 6 months of moving. I was like, what? I just got on The Office, and then it aired. That's back when it was a hit show, and then it aired like pretty close after. And everybody called me when it aired, and I was on House. I was like kind of featured on House. That was pretty cool in Cougar Town. But the
Oh
best
my
was
god.
Office. The
Yeah,
Office was the best because it was the biggest show. You know what I mean? And like people saw it on Netflix. I got hit up forever about that.
that's awesome. I have this actually similar experience too. When I first started as an extra, I worked on the 2nd season of Orange is the New Black, like, when that was, like, the hot show on Netflix.
I remember I watched like not that much of it, but I remember when it first came out. I think I watched the first season of it. It was pretty good. Yeah, or maybe the second. I forget. I mean, I remember that show was like super popular. Like I watched it maybe a little after. It was like I don't know. I forget, but I saw it. That show was actually funny. I just didn't see every episode, but I did watch some of it. I did like that show, The Orange is the New Black. I'm trying to remember what's the Crazy Eyes. What
Yeah,
was the girl? Yeah,
Crazy
Crazy
Eyes,
Eyes. Yeah,
yeah.
she was funny.
Taryn Manning, I was, like, part of the
Yeah.
meth head crew.
Oh, wow. So you were like, did you ever get seen with Taryn Manning? She's crazy.
Yeah, season
did
2
you
are
hear what happened to her? Did you see what happened to her?
kind of, kind of. I
You didn't
haven't
see the
followed
leaked videos of Taryn Manning?
recently or, like, a few
Yeah,
years ago?
recently.
I don't think so, no, but
I'm gonna try to find it. Hold on. Hold on. I can pull it on my phone. Hold on. Taryn.
I have to say she was always super nice to me. I have nothing bad to say, but
Okay. No, she seems really nice. She seems a
yeah,
little too nice. Hold on.
she
Taryn
was.
Manning is causing some concern with some recent TikToks she's been posting and deleted. You may remember her from Orange is the New Black and Crossroads. Taryn has struggled with substance abuse in the past and on.
Oh my gosh, of course I'm getting cool.
In these videos, she is slurring her words, so it's not looking too good. So in this video, which has since been deleted, I think she posted it yesterday or like 2 days ago, she's talking about her affair with a married man. And she specifically talks about tossing his salad. She's also completely going in on the married man's wife. She says she can't stand his wife because she called her a lunatic instead of calling them both lunatics, like her and the husband. And then she threatened to get a restraining order against the wife. She says the affair began because she's very...
Oh my gosh, where's the video? So it's not even going to play the video. The video is crazy. Oh my gosh, I guess she had it taken down. Taryn Manning in a car. Let me see if I can find it.
What's going on with all the girls from Crossroads? You know, like we got Brittany and we got Taryn. Like, is the other one, is Zoe Saldana from Crossroads? Is that, I might be wrong.
I bet Brittany and Taryn were good friends. Oh my gosh. So you've never seen this video. It's going to make me so mad. You have to see it. It's like, it is the fun. I literally laughed so hard. I want to watch it right now just so I can laugh. It's so insane.
It sounds sad though. Sounds like I feel for her.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's bad. I mean, I don't know. She just looks like she hooked up with some married man, and she just, it just not ended well, you know. And that's like, okay, hold on.
Pull over because I'm just like, I don't want to cause crashes because I'm just so rooted right now. So
I love Taryn.
the man that I've been messing with is a married man, and every night, well, for about 3 nights in a row, or even maybe there's a night in between, I was licking his butthole because he likes it, and I didn't mind doing it. Does that bother? Is that weird? Yeah.
So we don't have to watch the whole thing, but like she kind of goes on a rant about that. So you kind of have to hear that. I wasn't even trying to call her out because it's so egregious. You're like, what? She seems nice.
She does. I hope she's okay.
I think she is okay. She's since been on some podcasts since then and sounded a lot. She looked like she's having a bad time, maybe drinking or something. You know, once again, dating is hard. I mean, I love my girlfriend prepaid, but she probably thought she met a nice guy and ended up being married. You know, that hurts. There's no, you know, unless you're like, you know, not a real human, that hurts. If you know, especially if you like the guy for a girl.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I don't know how long you've been together, but I was going to ask you, you know, what are your thoughts? What relationship advice would you give? What do you think is like your best tip of relationship advice?
I mean, kind of a little bit of the George Costanza approach. Like, what did he do? Like, do the opposite of what you would think? Like, I mean, I guess being like where he was like brutally honest, where he's like, I'm a 40-year-old man. I live at home with my parents. Do you know the episode I'm talking about? Did you watch
It's been
Seinfeld?
a while. I did watch it, but
there's one, I think it's like the one where he dates Marissa Tomei, and he's like, I'm 40 years old and I live with my parents. Would you like to go out with me? And the girl's like, you know what? You're so honest. Yes. Like, there is something about just kind of being honest. Like, I mean that, like, if you're really trying to date, if you're starting out the dating process by totally misrepresenting yourself, I mean, obviously it's nice to be like a little cleaner than normal, maybe a little more put together. You know, when you first start dating, you know, your first appearance is important. But I'm talking about like significant lying or like really bending over backwards or being a totally different person for somebody, then that relationship is destined to fail. So find somebody where you can just be unapologetically yourself. And of course, that person needs to kind of make you be a better version of yourself a little bit, but like you don't need to be something that you're not.
I think that's super good advice. I mean, that's right. Like, how exhausting to have to keep up some sort of act and not be able to just be yourself. So yeah, everybody, I think when you first start dating is a little bit more on their like best behavior, not, you know, but yeah, it's a whole other thing to try to like act, you know, and
yes, or especially like to act a certain way. Like, this person might like me if I act like this. Like, that is just, I don't think that, like, really, if you're trying to date, and yes, remember, it is I guess maybe it's called a seller's market or a buyer's market. I don't know how the analogy works, but it's a market for women because they get, you know, whatever, like 3,000% more messages on dating apps than guys. It's something crazy like that. Literally the amount of messages that guys get compared to women. Even like when I think like, I forget what study it was, and there's been multiple studies, but like that's even kind of ranking in same appearance level, like a 7 guy, as they say, or however they would say on the app, or a 7 girl, comparable score, looks, however you want to call it. And there's like socioeconomic factors and stuff where I think that does factor in, but you know what I mean? Just like basically similar people, a girl gets exponentially more messages than a guy does on dating apps. So it's hard to compete with that. You're competing against like basically AI at that point. Seriously. I mean, it's like a human, it's a human using AI.
These days. I know.
Yeah.
So going back to you, what were you like younger? What was I see you as like you ran for class president, or you were class president. I don't know.
I was student council vice president. I've always a natural born leader, class clown type. I played football. I was captain of the football team at at Highland Park High School. I don't know why I said university, but I did play my freshman year at University of South Florida. But I was trying to go back and say I played football with Matthew Stafford, who's the starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams and will be in the Hall of Fame. He won a Super Bowl. And I also played Little League Baseball on that same team with Matthew and Clayton Kershaw, who currently pitches for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he will also be going in the Hall of Fame. So I went to a really good football school here in Texas called Highland Park High School. We have the winningest high school football program in the history of Texas high school football.
Nice. Are you still athletic? Do you still like?
Yeah, I do, but my weight fluctuates up and down. Right now, I'm in good, decent shape right now. You saw me. I'm looking lean, mean, and I'm trying to get even leaner because I'm about to be in Orlando, or already was in Orlando, and I need to be, shirtless and looking right, looking tight. What is the weather like around this time? You know what I mean? What is the weather right now in Florida, the Orlando area?
Yeah, it's pretty warm. It feels still like summer. It's pretty.
You
sunny.
just posted that picture of you in the pool. Did you get a lot of hate? I didn't even read the comments.
I really don't think I got so much. I just
burped. Excuse me. I literally just burped into the microphone. I mean, you're drinking all this 0 sugar root beer, and I have no manners. I'm a unapologetic conservative. So my manners. I throw my manners out the door. When I'm around a woman, I also feel like I feel like I have to kind of be, for some reason, I don't know why. It's like maybe because I'm an only child. I feel like around women, I almost have to have bad manners. I don't know why that is. My girlfriend always gets mad at me. Like, I feel like if I have good manners, then I seem like I'm, being pretentious. So I feel like I purposely have bad manners, so I seem less pretentious. And I know that's weird. Maybe that's just an excuse to act bad, I think, maybe.
Well, I mean, I like your unapologetic attitude and approach, right? I think it's very bold-lived. Like, I also, it's I like it. So I like keeping it real. I don't mind. And I'm glad that you feel comfortable being yourself around me too. So
I know. And look, I don't have any pants on either. So,
oh
I'm really
my gosh.
You like that.
People were like, because last time we talked, the calves came out. Here we go.
Did I bring the calves out? Did I bring the calves out?
It's so hard for me to tell if you're like for real or if you're playing around with the whole calf thing.
Like, I have jacked up calves. Yeah, they're implanted.
But they're the real calf, correct?
No, they're synthetic.
I don't know if you're being serious.
They were a cadaver. They were from a dead body, from an ex-bodybuilder. So technically they're organic, but.
Well, what else do you do to stay in good shape? Because you said you're whatever, trying to look good coming to Orlando.
Do you want to know what I really do? And I'm not even saying this, like, how they say kayfabe or whatever. It's like wrestling, that's the kayfabe is like, we're Macho Man, Randy Savage has to stay in character versus Hulk Hogan. But like, sometimes you break down the kayfabe. There's all these like diet plans. How do you lose weight? This and that. It's really very simple, and it's incredibly simple, but it's incredibly hard. And I really encourage people to do it, but it's kind of like a muscle. You have to kind of strengthen it. So you start with intermittent fasting, but I'm talking about serious fasting. Like it sounds crazy. My girlfriend thinks I'm crazy. Going 48 hours without food like once a week, maybe not once a week, but a lot. And then maybe sometimes went 72 hours without food. And then even when you go that time, when you go back to eating, only eating like once a day, one big meal a day, like, so it's called time restricted eating. And it like really is crazy. I'm not like, it's not for everybody, especially if you're thin already, you wouldn't want to do time restricted eating. But if like you are overweight, you can still eat a decent amount of calories. Because when you eat in those short windows, there's even studies where you can even eat a little more than your caloric surplus. As long as you take extended times in between meals, you can still lose weight but it's just hard to starve yourself. And that's what it is. It's fasting, call fasting, but it's starving yourself. It's chewing. I'm constantly chewing gum. I'm thinking about food. Some days are easier than others, but yeah, every week I try to do a 36-hour fast where like I don't eat from about 7 p.m. till about till lunchtime the next day, like a full day and then lunch, like 36 hours. And then, sometimes I go longer. If I'm feeling like, sometimes I'm just so hungry after 36 hours, I'm like, I gotta eat. Sometimes I'm like, oh, let me go another 12. And then sometimes, I go 48. But yes, it's literally starving myself and it's horrible because there's weeks where I won't do it for like 2 weeks and I notice I start to gain weight. And this is such a good tool because if you do fast for 2 days, 2 full days, I'm talking about 48 hours, you're not really going to lose like that much fat. You'll lose a little, but you do flush your body of all the water weight. So you actually you feel a little dehydrated, but your body feels better because you don't realize we hold so much water and there's more sugar that we have, and there's other carbs. It helps the water molecules, the fat cells, like the glycogen, the sugar, it just helps kind of all come together. So once we kind of dehydrate ourselves a little, and you don't want to be too dehydrated, it's very dangerous, but I'm just talking about like when you fast for 48 hours, you should drink a lot of fluids, but when you're not eating, your body's able to like urinate and excrete a lot of fluids. You do feel better. I'm telling you, you just feel thinner. You just feel like, whoa, I feel a lot. It's just the mental aspect of it. That's what's really hard.
That's definitely something. Yeah, it really does kind of show you the power of the mind, right? If like your strength, how strong you are, your willpower. Because it's hard because you're hungry. Your stomach is growling and I'm sure because you're so busy that helps too. I would imagine like the busier you keep yourself, it's like distractions from, obviously
I would actually be really good at it because I do have a good fasting muscle because there's times where I can like hyper focus where I just like really want to eat. But I travel so much and it's so hard to fast when I'm traveling because traveling is already so stressful. I hate flying. You know that I tell you all the time how much I hate flying. And then like it's hard not to want to snack and eat stuff when you're at like airports or Ubers or you're on the road. You got to Uber eat something. You're hungry and you kind of need to eat when you go. You know what I mean? It's hard to diet and travel. I know there's some people like I go to the hotel gym and I stay on it. It's just hard. It's hard to diet and travel. I struggle with that.
Yeah. Well, I think this, once again, I appreciate you keeping it real. I think it's very relatable. And yeah, I think, it's nice to know your real life tips and what works for you. I guess it's different for everyone, but have you been doing this for like a while now? Like when did you just
like I really don't it's funny I'm on the Bold Lib talking about it that much because that I get the most hate I get in the conservative world is why? It's because I'm the plant-based pimp. I don't even eat meat. And you eat a bunch of meat. I'm so libtarded. I don't even eat meat. And I don't even do it. I do believe it's probably healthier. Like, I don't think humans, we overeat meat. I don't think it's really necessary for a human for every single meal, 3 meals a day to have meat. I think it's probably better to have like 1 or 2 meals a day. But that's just what I personally think because I'm not like an anti-meat activist. But I don't even eat meat because I'm such a soy boy. I'm a vegetarian. And that's purely, I do that because I love animals so much. So that's like another thing I get crushed about, is because I'm a Bold Lib vegetarian.
I can imagine. So you mentioned being an only child. Are there other ways that you feel that has like sort of shaped who you are and influenced who you are, being an only child?
Yes, for sure. One of the reasons, and I joke about this a lot though, my parents, when they got divorced, they fought for custody of our family dog, like just as much more than they fought for custody of me. And the dog like declared that they would have split custody of the dog and me. So wherever I went, the dog went. So I was basically raised by our dog Primo more than like a human. And so I'm very, I'm literally like an animal. a little bit in a good way. I think that's why I like animals so much. But no, my parents both love me. That's the thing is and I have to say this very selfishly. I know a lot of people have like heat with their parents, and there's maybe times I've argued and fought with my parents, but because I'm an only child, like my parents got divorced, they like competed on who could love me more. So I was loved so much by both my parents. I was incredibly lucky in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice that you have that like, gratitude because, right, that isn't the situation for everyone, and having that support and love in your life is so important and kind of gives you the confidence to do all these challenging things that you do, right?
It's funny that you say it like that because really that is the problem in society. It's like, conservatives will like be like, oh, systemic racism doesn't exist. But when I debate this sometimes, I do believe it exists. And now you can say systemic racism exists against white people. Like now the system is, racist against white people. But regardless of that argument, the reason why is like, we have a system that sets up kids to fail if you don't have a two-parent home, regardless of, your race or ethnicity. I mean, like Asian people are, assimilate and do better usually because they have two-parent homes. And, there's a lot of other factors, but it's typical if you do not have parents that, help you, the likelihood of being successful is much less. There are people that are very successful with the help of no parents, one parent. There's incredibly successful athletes, doctors, all kinds of people raised by one parent. It's not like it makes it where you can't, be successful. And there's people we raised with no parents that are successful. But we're not going to sit here and lie and say it's not a little more challenging when, there's less support. More support is always going to be a little better. And it's nature versus nurture. And the nature around you, if that nature is really good and supportive, I think the likelihood of being successful it increases.
For sure. I'm curious, you're so quick and witty and funny. It seems like you're fearless, but I wonder, like, are there things I know you're afraid of, like, you don't love flying.
No, but I do fly. I'm not so afraid I won't do
it. You fly
it.
a lot too.
Yeah, I fly like every weekend. You know what I am? I mean, if I'm really being scared, I had like a First Amendment lawsuit against the government and we really had a solid case. They even admitted it, but like the jury, they didn't even understand it was a First Amendment lawsuit. The 6 jurors really didn't even understand what a Constitution was or the First Amendment. So I'm like, whoa, this is really bad. Like now I'm afraid to take any more First Amendment lawsuits because like we actually had a really good case, but the jury literally, they're like, First Amendment means you can't that freedom of speech. They don't even know what that means. But so I got a little black belt in that regard of how that went. I'm very afraid of like the government, and the weaponization of local police force and higher FBI, I don't know, CIA. I am like, what I'm actually scared about is that ever becoming a target of the United States government. I mean, I'm not even doing anything wrong, but that's like where I want to go out there and I like want to push the envelope and stuff. And I've confronted a lot of politicians. Like that puts you on their radar. And then it's like, hey, I've attacked, not physically, but like I've called out politicians and AOC. I've joked about her a lot and called her my favorite big booty Latina. And really, if it's her and JD Vance, I might have to support AOC, believe it or not. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but just because of her and I's. But she might become vice president, might become president and not like me at all. And just, so like, that's what I'm kind of scared about. And like Dan Crenshaw is a guy that doesn't like me. He could get another powerful position in Texas. So I guess I am a little worried about retaliation one day from some powerful person, if I'm being honest.
No, that's fair. And very honest. Has that changed your approach at all?
Yes and no. Like I still will go confront politicians. I need to actually do it more, but, yes and no, because like I said, I still need to do it. I've kind of slowed down on it and I'm not afraid to like go call out a politician, but I just need to pick and choose my battles right. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't realize actually, I kind of started to go viral by getting in some local politicians and calling them out at meetings. And I need to do a little bit more of that, but it's just, I just got to pick my targets wisely.
Yeah. I mean, now that people are more familiar with you, are people on the lookout? Like, do you get stopped from going in?
Yeah, that makes it harder. They either kick me out earlier or, they know that something's up. So the surprise angle is just gone. And, which is fine. It's fine. I've actually had success. Like I had this one at the Texas Senate hearing recently that really blew up where I was talking about transgenders and how they should be in the military and how I like them in women's sports. You can gamble on it. And those are jokes I've been saying for a long time, but I said it in that setting, and those jokes, the thing blew up. Got millions of views, went really, really viral. So there's a way where now, even though I'm known, where I can sarcastically say some facts that aren't the facts that you would typically hear at a setting like that, and so that's why they can hit right. So there's still stuff I can do, but yeah, the level or the surprise attack is now gone.
What do you think is the most standout moment where things went wrong, or like the biggest reaction to any of these events or meetings or
the worst thing was I got kicked out of the RNC for confronting Sank while he was live on Piers Morgan, and I didn't like that. I wish I would not have done that because he got me kicked out.
What did you do exactly?
He was live on Piers Morgan and he had a booth, and I jumped in front of the camera and said Sank is transgender, and then he got me kicked out.
So you wish you didn't? You would take that back?
Yeah, because I would like to see Hulk Hogan and all that stuff. Yeah, I would have done that different.
Anything else that you would take back, or is it like, do you have?
I don't know. There's always this time I should have zigged when I zagged, or should have zagged when I zagged. There's all kinds of like Monday morning quarterback after the play or after the game's over.
2020, yeah.
But do I have a lot of regrets? A couple, honestly. Not even like with work, but just like personal regrets. Just nothing big, but like I do. One thing that I am frustrated about, and I'll always be frustrated about, is that when I moved from Los Angeles, I ended up getting a job at Cheaters. And I guess I'll tell you my origin story because I didn't even say it on this podcast. And Cheaters is a show we catch people cheating on their husbands and wives, and I worked there for over 8 years.
I've watched that show. Yep, I know what show you're talking about. I had no idea you worked on that.
Yeah, it's distributed by Viacom, which is on CMT, VH1, and MTV, and the host was my good friend Clark Gable. His grandfather was Clark Gable from Gone with the Wind, and Clark was a badass. He was a party animal, like no party animal that I'd ever seen. Very few, and I am one. And I've hung out with a lot. And he was the host, and we were, I was finally pretty high up. I wasn't the head producer, but I was like, associate producer. I was, producing. I produced like 10 episodes per year. Well, how it works is there's 22 episodes, 2 bucks per episode, so there's 44 bucks, and I would produce about 10 bucks a year. Sometimes a little more, sometimes less, depending on like whatever. But no, that's a pretty big bulk of the bus. And Clark ended up had a prescription for pain pills, ran out. His doctor was in California, and so he went and bought some like what he thought were pain pills from a street dealer, and they had fentanyl on it, and he died and never woke up, and it was really sad with his 19-month-old baby and his fiance.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so I was like, that really messed me up, and I ended up getting in really good shape, but the guy that owned the production company said, Alex, you're going to be the next host. And I was like, that's so badass, but I was really sad about Clark, but I was like, this is crazy. I'm ready to do this, I'm getting in good shape. And like right when we're about to start filming again, restart, because the show would go on hiatus for a few months in between seasons, They're like, hey, we've always had an African-American audience. We want to go with this African-American dude, this dude named Peter Guns, who's a nice guy. I'm not mad at him. He had no idea he's lived in New York. And the Viacom, they just like, we want to go with this. We've had this is the kind of audience is African-American. See how that plays. Never tried that. So they're like, Alex, you can still be a producer. And I was like, I don't know. And another guy that worked there, cameraman's like, you should do your own podcast. I was like, maybe that's a good idea. But I stayed on for like one episode we did with Peter, and the first meeting, they're like, oh yeah, we got to call him Peter Panky. I go, why? And he had like a couple hit songs back in like the 90s. You've actually heard them. It's like Uptown, this real, you're in New York, like one's like a New York legend song. It's like a New York anthem song that you've heard a million times. I think it's called Uptown. But he, I have no fault to him. I'm not mad at him for taking the job. He has no idea that I've been working there, this and that. Or, he's hearing that, all, as he's getting hired. Oh, you've been here. They were going to make you the host. Oh, well, that's cool. But I am now. And it wasn't like that. I'm saying that's the situation. You know what? How is he? He's been there 2 minutes. He doesn't know any of the company stuff. So they said, we don't want to call him Peter Guns. We're going to call him Peter Panky because we don't want to glamorize gun violence. And I was like, are you guys kidding? This is so stupid. So I just left and I started my podcast. And then actually my first couple episodes did okay. I had this video where like I wore this mask and I went in Target and I bought this thing during the pandemic when you're supposed to have, facial coverings, but I had a Zorro mask and they tried to stop me and I still bought it. And this guy, Mark Dice, he's a badass. It's like one of the biggest guys on YouTube. He shared my video and did this call to action, go follow Alex Stein. And then boom, like that, I was kind of off to the running.
Wow. Life is crazy, right?
It is crazy like that. That's what I try to tell everybody because I had to make, over 100 and more than that. But, like with live streams and stuff, like I had to make, I don't know if and there's people that made thousands of pieces of content, but I mean, I had to make like hundreds of pieces of content before I really had to fall in.
Yeah. Yeah. And people don't, it's a hustle.
And then something blew up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still trying to earn a following today. Now I got to really let it loose a little bit. But you know what I mean? It's like, you just, you got to work every day to become an overnight success is what they say.
Absolutely. For me as well, like it's years and years and years of, working full time while side hustling on social media. Like I've been building my social media for many, many, many years.
How long have you been kind of the Bold Lib on social media? Like really, like how long have you kind of taken on this persona, even though this is your personality, but you know what I mean? Like how long have you kind of been more like, oh, I'm going to say this and be bold and say I'm 42 and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like when did you kind of decide I'm going to do this?
I started getting political on social media around like 2017, 2018 with Trump. And then I just think it's been an evolution, right? It's like I constantly feel like I'm evolving and like trying different content. So it's looked like different things.
But that's when you kind of got online and really started to focus. Yeah. Because I was online. That's really when I kind of got addicted to Twitter before I had a following was about 2015, 2016. I just wouldn't, I'd maybe have like one or two tweets randomly, get the hundreds of likes, but I didn't have a following. I think I had like 3,000 followers or something, for a long time. But then when I started like to, post videos and do stuff, that's when my Twitter just blew. And then what really blew up my Twitter, though, was the AOC video because she like quote tweeted and said Alex Stein so bad. And as soon as she made me famous because she made like all these reaction videos, which she couldn't have been any nicer. If she just ignored me, it would have been a nothing burger. But like she tried to be like this big victim and it blew up.
Yeah, that's funny because like mine kind of blew up too when Trump blocked me. So Trump blocked me on Twitter at the time, and that's kind of what like, kickstarted my thing.
Are you still blocked?
No, he had to unblock everyone that he blocked because he was the president and he was using Twitter for official White House news.
Yeah,
he can't block people.
That's awesome. Wait, and so he blocked you. What were you? Were you being more than a bold lib? Were you being an annoying lib?
I was trolling him a little, you know what I mean? Like, I think the actual tweet that at the time that he blocked me for was saying something about him sucking at golf. Like, so.
He does not like that. I mean, you could literally make fun of a lot of stuff that he's probably very self-deprecating on, but I don't think that's one of them.
Yeah, that's it. The golf one is what did it. So you seem to really love what you do. What is your favorite part? What do you like most about what you do?
I mean, it's funny you say that because I do like doing what I do, but
you look like you're having fun,
Well, no, and I constantly need to do new stuff, but funny that I was just telling the story about the reality TV and cheaters. And you're talking about the regrets. I didn't even say what the regret is. I'm not really regretting that. My regret is that I didn't start doing the podcast earlier. I'm saying I should have done that. I did all those years of cheaters where I was making decent money. And I was like, I'm in the business, but wasn't really in the business. And like, I kind of felt like if I had a show, I need somebody else to put me on my show. I didn't realize I can do my own show. I can post clips. I knew there were social media influencers, but I'm like, what am I going to talk about? You know what I mean? Like I just like didn't. And once I really became conspiratorial and anti-government, that kind of helped push me to be more vocal at the same time, which I am. Like that's the thing is I am more conservative, but at the same time, I think it's a uniparty, and I think both sides are bad. And really, I can like look at a person and be like, oh, I don't agree with them politically, but they're probably not a bad person. There's some issues where I'm like, I really don't like, but most of the issues, I'm really can kind of meet people in the middle. Probably on about 75% of issues, maybe even more. So that's kind of how I look at people. It's like, am I really going to, because it's like this Israel-Palestine stuff, they like really want to draw lines in the sand. I don't want to hate either, but it's It's a tough situation. So yeah, I don't like the anti-Semitism. I don't like the Islamophobia, whatever you want to call it. I don't like either of that, I don't like to pick sides. So yeah, I wish I would have started sooner. And with all that being said, I wish I would have started sooner and been a little more outspoken and vocal. And I'm happy I did it now. And I am having fun. But today online, and really you are doing it, we're basically no different. And this is like pulling back the curtain than like the modern day real housewife or something. We're like, you're making songs like Vicky or whatever. You know what I mean? Like we're just kind of posting or doing podcasts. They all do podcasts. Like we don't necessarily have a show on Bravo, but you don't really have to. You can just kind of post clips of your life and people can follow along. And this is kind of the new reality TV, the internet. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what I am. I'm a character. Like you do see the real me, but I do also go and joke around. And like I said at the beginning, I'm kind of misunderstood because sometimes I pretend to be something that I'm not. So it's like, it's kind of just, it's fun to put myself out there without, I didn't realize that you could do this. I didn't realize you could kind of put yourself on the out there, and then you edit some videos and people will notice, and you become your own reality TV producer of your own life and content.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I can relate to that as well in terms of being misunderstood. I think it's hard with content. People don't know what to make of it. They don't know if you're for real, if you're not for real. So they don't really.
All content's going to be cringe, though, right, Angela? You just gotta let it. And that's what I realized. I used to, and I try not to make too cringe content still, but like people are going to talk shit, whether it's the best video or whether it's the worst. So you got to just let it rip.
Yeah, you just got to do your thing because you can't please everyone. Like there's no possible way. So you just have to, I think, be true to yourself and what makes you happy and what you feel like you need to be doing with your platform. People are always going to have opinions and judgments. And I just think there's a lot of narratives being created and assumptions, which is why I like to do podcasts and talk with people, because I just think you get such a better sense of who the person is behind the content.
I agree, but at the exact same time, I'm trying to I agree. It's so good to, have these long conversations. Now the content everybody wants is short form clips though, and I do agree. Like, I think I like listening to long podcasts. I like to put it on in the background and stuff, but really this podcast is not going to go viral, but a clip might, you know what I mean? I don't know what clip, but that's just how the internet
probably
works.
Probably the Taryn Manning one, probably.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But that's why you do an hour-long podcast so one of the clips can blow up, and that's fine. That's a fair trade-off. If one clip blows up, that's more than enough. I'm not going to complain, but it's just that's how we consume our content. Most people don't want to consume the whole hour. We just want to consume the clip.
Yeah. So what is kind of up next for you? Like, what are you focused on at the moment? Any goals that you're...
Yes, I got a lot of schools. I'm so lucky I get to represent Turning Point USA, and after obviously Charlie's just terrible, tragic assassination, I'm going to speak at these schools. And I'm not I used to do this bit where I impersonated Charlie by calling myself Charlie Kird, and now I have to be extra careful because I can never fill Charlie's shoes. Not that I would even try. Not that I would even, not that anybody's saying that. I'm not. I'm saying the exact opposite. But it is kind of like this weird, he is gone and we do need to go to these schools. So it's like, I'm, so thankful that I get to do it, but it really does suck without Charlie, because Charlie leading Turning Point, he gave me a lot of second chances on some other stuff. And it's just really, really hurts me. I liked when Charlie was here so I could be the V team or the C team or, down the lake or, down the list where it didn't matter. But now that he's gone, I feel like, there's just a lot more scrutiny at these events. And it's just, I don't ever want to come across like I could even, be 1/100th as effective or 1/1,000,000th as effective as Charlie. So, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm so thankful to go to these schools, but it's just, that's my focus, going there, having good events, hopefully having some good conversations and maybe changing some minds along the way, as I say.
I think it's really important work. That's kind of what I hope to do as well. I think that's a very, humble and modest thing too, but I'm glad that it's not, what happened to Charlie is not stopping you, because it is really important work to have these conversations and, dialogue and try to get to a better place. So I think it's a beautiful message and very inspirational. And in my own way, I'm trying to do that as well by trying to bring people together through storytelling and that sort of a thing.
And I love it. We need to come together. Like I said, we probably agree on most issues. We really don't need to kind of hate each other because we disagree on a few political viewpoints. And maybe maybe the political viewpoints we don't agree on is because we really haven't had a conversation about it and really thought, seen it from another perspective. So that's always a good incentive when reaching across to people that you don't agree with, is maybe you might show them a side or an angle or a thing that they might not have known about. You never know.
Totally.
And vice versa. So
yeah, it's good to be thought provoking and the critical thinking and I think that stuff is so important.
Well, you said it earlier, like, and I'm not just saying this, I'm not trying to act extra humble, but I like having, followers on social media, and I really like it when people say nice stuff. But really, my favorite thing is when people come up to me, and I usually always retweet them. Sometimes they do go so many times I can't retweet every single one of your videos. I know this person's probably watching actually multiple of these people, but I do retweet most of them. Is I love when people are like, Alex, because of you, I was inspired to go speak at my city council or my town hall or my school board. And that actually does make me feel good, because it makes me feel like I'm like a military general, like, sending my soldiers, even though they might not even be. Sometimes they do mention me, and I appreciate that. But like, I'm sending, other people, I'm motivating them to go kind of wreak havoc in their local, political spheres, and, call some politicians out. Because even though, like, you're like, oh, what's the point of going to a city council meeting and just like getting mad? Even if you're a crazy person like me and the people that, like to kind of do the same thing that I like, you usually go in there with some issue, like some serious issue. Like, maybe we're being a little nitpicky because we're getting mad about this one thing. Like they allowed drag queen story time or whatever it is. But usually it's like, there's usually a serious issue at hand, of all the craziness and the calling the politicians out. So I'm happy when I motivate people to go call out politicians, no matter what that issue is, because there's people that are on the left that have come up to me and be like, I was motivated because of you to go do that on, defending my points. I'm like, well, that's good. Hey, you know what? Honestly, I like that too.
Exactly. It's like whatever it is for them, but that is the best feeling, to have someone tell you that you've, impacted them in some way, made some difference, maybe lit a fire under their ass. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah, so to have that compliment, it's really nice. So, well, we are almost out of time. Would you be down to do a really quick rapid fire game? I've never done a game, but this is just rapid fire, some favorites, just some extra little things about Alex Stein.
Got it.
All right, let's go. Favorite band
of all time? Oh my gosh, this is hard. I mean, I want to say the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I don't know. I mean, my favorite band of all, if I say rapper, it's Paul Wall, but I guess he's not technically a band. So probably like band to go listen to live. See, there's so many different caveats. Probably favorite band is Michael Jackson, if that counts.
Oh, see, I love learning this about you. We actually have, similar musical taste too. The Chili Peppers are probably good inspiration for your rap.
Yeah, I love the Chili Peppers. Yeah, I do. I love
favorite food?
I mean, this is another kind of difficult one because I am the plant-based pimp, so it kind of varies. And I have a lot of like a mono diet. I can only eat so much stuff. So like either like the vegetarian Singapore sling noodles, like kind of the spicy noodles, or I also like the black bean burger from Chili's. I love that. I eat that probably once a week. And I also like the veggie burger from Shake Shack. I also like Olive Garden breadsticks with Alfredo sauce. I also like pizza. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of those things.
So my favorite of them all, though, falafel.
Ooh, I love a falafel. Yeah, yeah. Guilty pleasure.
I mean, there's a couple, but I've been chewing it too. I have any on me. And I got this from Tucker because I had to quit dipping because my baby was getting so mad at me. This is nicotine gum. I've been chewing this like crazy. So this is like my latest guilty pleasure.
Nice.
But like really, really, and I've actually told myself I had to stop. And this is a seriously guilty pleasure. I had to stop. I was gambling, not a lot and not that much. I know it makes it sound bad, but like you saw me like that night I lost $400 and literally, so I paid my taxes and I was so mad because there's some times where I've won money, but I paid my taxes over the past year. And over the year, I thought it was going to be worse. I lost $6,400 over a whole year gambling, but I was up. I know that's so crazy, but like I just did the taxes on what I'd taken out and stuff. So actually I made some content doing that. So, they think that I might be able to write some of it off. So that's a win. But yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm so mad. I'm so mad that I lost $6,000. I lost $6,000 over a year. Like, and there was times where we went and won. So that was like up and down. So that's my guilty pleasure. And I'm not saying I'll never gamble again because I'm not like that addicted to gambling. Like, I'm not like, but it's fun to go to the slot machines and sit there and hit the button with Paige. I don't know. It's just fun to kind of risk it. Like, I like the adrenaline from it. So once again, that is my guilty pleasure. Was it bad? Yes, it was a bad year. Was it the worst thing ever? No, because with that money, we got 2 free cruises and a bunch of free hotels. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yes. Well, I'm sure that it's hard, but to control that, and just not an easy thing. But I'm sure when you think about the money you've lost, that helps put it in perspective.
That's what happened. I literally just paid the taxes, and I was like, because the year before that, I didn't even gamble that much, but I was up on the year. Like, we won a bunch of money on the Super Bowl. It was just this past year, I had like a bad luck streak. That is so, that's how it always is. Like, kind of when I first restarted gambling, once I started making a little money, and then when I say gambling, it's not that much. It's like when we're at the casino, because you find yourself there, it's like playing a few $100. It's not even worrying about them. But it adds up. It adds up when you do it. It adds up very quick.
You gotta have those limits, and if you don't, maybe don't put yourself in
that is the one thing that actually does prevent me from gambling that much. Is I have such bad ADD. Like, I can't sit and play poker long. I can't sit and play blackjack. Like, I literally can't. I can sit like at a slot machine and joke around and hit the button, because that's like thinking. But if I really have to focus and stuff, I don't like to gamble that long because it gets stressful. I really don't like to do that. So that's how I know that I'm not like that big of a gambling addict, because I don't want to sit there and play blackjack all night. You know what I mean? Like, I just...
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. I have more questions for you, but we'll have to do that another time. We're winding down here. I want to give you a quick chance to tell everyone where they can find you, anything you want to promote real quick in our last minutes.
I'm Primetime 99 Alex Stein, and as you can tell, I'm financially struggling because of my losses over the past few years. So if you guys want to support me, please go like me on Twitter, go follow me on YouTube. That is, Alex Stein, or The Mind of Stein on YouTube. And please give me a like, a follow, maybe a nice message to help me, because like I said, I am financially ruined from the last year. So thank you. But I'll be okay. I got a, beautiful girlfriend that's, has an entry-level job that's going to be able to support both of us. So thank you guys so much. And thank you, Angela, for having me.
Alex, you're awesome. Moms for Liberty is great.
Love Moms for Liberty.
We're going to have
MFL.
So much fun. Thank you so much for making the time. I know how busy you are, busy and bold. This has been a very bold talk. Thank you so much, Alex.